My dear students, good morning. Today, we are going to discuss Rain on the Roof, a beautiful poem that is written by Coach Kinney. Talking about the poet, Coach Kinney, he was born in 1826 near Penn Yan, New York. He commenced his uh, career as a journalist at Cincinnati. Talking about some of the famous books that he wrote, uh, Q-Car in 1855, Lyrics of the Ideal and the Real, Rain on the Roof, and Mists of Fire, a trilogy of some ecologues. Right. Now, talking about the central idea, the theme of the poem, the sound of the raindrops falling on the roof of his house brings back sweet memories of the past. My dear students, we all are associated somehow or the other with the rain. Whenever we hear the patter of the sound of the rain, whenever we hear the sound of the rain, we remember lots of things in our mind, lots of associations. And so when we go through this poem, we'll come to know that what are the associations of the poet, what are the things that the poet remembers, the poet Coach Kinney remembers. Let's start our discussion with the poem. I request to keep the book with you so that when I will recite the poem and will explain it, you can easily connect it with all my articulations. Glossaries I have mentioned here. If I will forget to explain, you can find it here. And later I will be discussing side by side the literary devices used by the poet. Right. So let's start. When the humid shadows hover over all the starry spheres, and the melancholy darkness gently weeps in rainy tears, what a bliss to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed and lie listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead. As I said, through this poem, the poet talks about the memories, his memories that are associated with raindrops. So, in that humid shower hovers, when that moisture-laden clouds are hovering around over his head, over the starry spheres, and the melancholy darkness, the darkness that was melancholy. Here, transferred epithet is used, and when we are talking about transferred epithet is a literary device. uh, the use of an adjective with a noun when it refers to another noun. Here, in melancholy darkness, the darkness is not melancholy, but it refers to the sad people, those who are sad. This figure of speech is used there, so we can say transferred epithet. Talking about the alliteration, the first figure of speech alliteration is used in the very first and the second line and the fifth line also. A repetition of consonant sound H, ha, humid, hover. In the second line, starry spheres. Right. So when he was lying on his bed and listening to the sound of the rain, it gave him pleasure. He became very happy. Moving into the second stanza, every tinkle on the shingles has an echo in the heart, and a thousand dreamy fancies into busy beings start, and a thousand recollections weave their air threads into woof as I listen to the patter of the rain upon the roof. The words that are coming in this poem are mentioned here. You can have a glance over it. Let me explain the meaning of the poem. Now, tinkle, short light ringing sound. Again, these are the words tinkle, patter. The second figure of speech that I have written here, onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is a literary device where the use of sound words to create a dramatic effect and auditory imagery. For example, snake, hiss, hiss. Onomatopoeia is used in the word. So patter, sound of the rain, right? Onomatopoeia is used here. Has an echo in the heart. So when the raindrops falls on the shingles, that rectangular wooden tiles used on the roof, right? It gives him echo in his heart, happiness in his heart. And a thousand dreamy fancies into busy beings start. Means he was a very busy. Here, busy being means human beings. We human beings are very busy in our life, and the same thing happens with the poet. Uh, it gives him pleasure whenever he hears the sound of the rain, and a thousand recollections weave their air threads into woof as I listen to the patter on the rain upon the roof. As he listens the sound of the the raindrops, many recollections, many memories, reminiscences comes to his mind. The third stanza. Now in memory comes my mother. Now at last, in the last stanza, he remembers his mother. Alliteration is used, repetition of ma sound. Memory comes my mother, as she used in years ago, to regard the darling dreamers, ere she left them till the dawn. Oh, I feel her fond look on me as I list to this refrain, which is played upon the shingles by the patter of the rain. So, what happens in the last stanza? When he listens to the sound of the rain, he remembers his mother, how she used to shower his love and affection, the way she used to shower her love and affection towards the poet, quotes Kinney. In the same way, the raindrops are falling here to pacify all his problems, to augment his happiness. My dear students, there are other examples of alliteration, as I told. In the third line, repetition of the sound, darling dreamers, right? Uh, and er means before I use that word here. A refrain is a repeated part of a poem or a song. My dear students, uh, before I wind up, I just request you to listen to this video 2 or 3 times, and then I will be sending you some audio content as well for in order to clear the doubts, right? Thank you very much.